Hi, I'm Zane with Zane Engineers Life. So a question that comes up often for me lately is, what do you think of quiet quitting? Well, let's talk about definitions for a second. The employer version is people are not doing any work at all and basically stealing from the company. The blue collar version seems to be, I'm not doing anything I'm not exactly paid to do. And the standard definition seems to be doing the minimum requirements of one's job and putting in no more time or effort or enthusiasm than is absolutely necessary to keep that job. Well, we have a couple of different layers of the onion to unpack here. Now, on one hand, you've seen many of my other videos where I'm really pushing us to hold our employer accountable for providing us a good wage and good opportunities for advancement. I also hold us accountable for providing our employer with great value and continued effort. Now, if you spend any time on the Reddit Anti-Work subthreads and subreddits, you begin to see that in some industries, like restaurants, people are basically used as expendable cogs in the machine. They're treated like animals and really just don't have an opportunity to make a good life for themselves. Old school thinking seems to be that there will always be more people wanting to get that job, so they don't have to treat people very well. And well, have you noticed that most restaurants that you go to nowadays don't have enough staff to actually be able to fill the entire restaurant? Well, to me, this is a perfect spot for quiet quitting. Just do what you're paid to do until you can find something better for yourself. Now, if you're in a spot where your performance influences your rate of pay, like if you get tips, then absolutely give your all no matter what, and no matter what you're being paid, so that you have an opportunity to make more money with those tips. And then you have a lot of blue-collar jobs where the people are treated like absolute crap, fired for being half a minute late or needing to actually go to the doctor because they're sick. And it's this spot that seems to be especially hurting because employers still seem to think there's a whole bunch of more people coming through the door that know how to weld or run a machine or be a plumber. The interesting thing is that this is the key spot where quiet quitting would seem to make the most sense. But I counter that. If you are the one that showed up and you are the one that is there, then I actually think doing the opposite of quiet quitting and doing more and above what you were asked to do is the way to make a better difference in your own life. Because here's the thing, it gives you more experience and it gets you better and it gives you more skills that you can take to a different employer if the one you're with doesn't treat you well. Some of you will say, but if you do more, they're just going to ask me to do even more. Well, that's often true. The one who does the most is the one that gets asked to do more. Well, that's when you ask for more pay, or let them know you'll keep doing that and you'll keep doing what you're doing unless you get more pay, because more value equals more pay, right? And then we have the white collar office or engineering type jobs. To me, this goes into one of two categories. One, it's a dead-end corporate job and isn't going anywhere, and it's just something you took to pay the bills. In that case, quiet quitting seems to make the most sense, right? You do your job, nothing more, fly just below the radar, and hang in there and draw that paycheck, and do just enough to not get fired until you can find a better opportunity. And then there's all the people that I'm trying to talk to with this channel and with all this content that I'm trying to put out. You are in an engineering or a technical field or something that is incredibly needed right now. Quiet quitting to me would be one of the most selfish things you could do. You are incredibly needed. Your skills are something we don't have enough of. So any opportunity you have to work hard and get better and get more skills and learn more things, be able to run more software and run different machines or run different hardware, you absolutely should be giving it your all and everything that you can possibly give. To me, quiet quitting when you're in a needed profession would be incredibly selfish. Work your job and do the best you can to provide the most value, and then if they don't compensate you or reward you or recognize you, find someone that will. So what do I think of quiet quitting? Well, in some cases it makes sense. If you're at the big corporation making decent money and just need the job to pay your bills while you're finding and working on something else to do, then it just makes a lot of sense. You fly below the radar, do the minimum, and try not to get fired. If you're in a needed profession like engineering, it would be incredibly selfish of you to not take advantage of the opportunity to learn and do and provide as much as you possibly can. See, your reward will come from that future job you find because of all the awesome skill and value that you provided. Now, if you find yourself in a spot where you're considering quiet quitting, I want you to take a look at some of my other videos on what to do if your job just isn't doing it for you, or if you're in a place where they're not rewarding you. There's a lot of really good ideas out there. Check them out and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Zane with Zane Engineers Life, and we'll make you better.